Hey there, tech enthusiasts. In this video, we're going to talk about some of the biggest tech failures in recent history and the possible factors behind the failures. From Apple Maps to Google Glass, we're going to explore the reasons behind these failed projects by tech giants that were dead on arrival. We'll also share some business case studies and strategies that you can use to avoid making the same mistakes. So, sit back, relax, and let's dive in. Apple Maps. Back in 2012, Apple launched its own mapping service called Apple Maps, which was supposed to replace Google Maps on its iOS platform. However, the launch was plagued by numerous issues such as inaccurate directions, missing landmarks, and distorted satellite imagery. The result? Users were frustrated and disappointed, and the app received a lot of negative reviews. Apple's CEO Tim Cook eventually apologized and even suggested that users could try other mapping apps until Apple Maps improved. So, what can we learn from this? One lesson is that quality assurance is critical, especially when it comes to services that customers rely on every day. Google Glass. The project was supposed to revolutionize wearable technology by offering a hands-free, heads-up display that could do everything from taking photos to giving directions. However, the product was met with resistance due to privacy concerns, social stigma, and a high price tag. It was also criticized for being too complicated and not having enough practical uses. Despite the hype, Google Glass was ultimately discontinued in 2015. The lesson here: it's important to listen to your customers and understand their needs before launching a product that may not resonate with them. When we think of failed tech companies, Theranos immediately comes to mind. Theranos was a biotech startup that promised to revolutionize the blood testing industry with a single drop of blood. However, it was discovered that the technology used by Theranos was faulty, and the results were not accurate. This led to investigations, lawsuits, and eventually the downfall of the company. Theranos's main mistake was assuming that there was a market demand for a more convenient blood testing process. However, they failed to conduct proper market research to understand if their product was actually in demand. As a result, they invested heavily in their technology, only to find out that there was no real need for it. Tata Nano. In 2008, Tata Motors introduced the Nano, a compact car designed for the Indian market. It was marketed as the people's car, with a starting price of just $2,500. However, despite the hype and initial demand, the Nano failed to live up to expectations. One of the reasons for Nano's failure was inadequate planning. Tata Motors failed to consider various factors, such as the need for safety features, which led to a series of accidents involving the Nano. Additionally, the Nano was originally manufactured in West Bengal, which faced opposition from local farmers, ultimately forcing Tata Motors to move production to a different state. These factors, combined with other issues, led to the eventual failure of the Nano. Amazon Fire Phone. The Amazon Fire Phone was launched in 2014 with high hopes of competing with the likes of Apple and Samsung. However, it failed to impress customers with its limited app selection, lackluster performance, and high price. The product was ultimately discontinued in 2015, and Amazon reportedly took a loss of over $170 million. The lesson here: it's important to do your research and understand the market before launching a product that may not meet customers' needs. Segway. The Segway, a two-wheeled personal transportation device, was one of the most hyped inventions of the early 2000s. It was supposed to revolutionize personal transportation and change the way we move around cities. However, despite the hype, the Segway never took off as expected. One of the reasons for the Segway's failure was the lack of innovation. Although the Segway was a cool and innovative invention, it failed to offer anything truly groundbreaking that would make people want to invest in it. In addition, the Segway was quite expensive, which limited its market appeal. Twitter's Vine, a social media platform that allowed users to create and share 6-second looping videos, was a sensation when it was first launched in 2013. However, the app failed to keep up with the competition and eventually shut down in 2017. One of the reasons for Vine's failure was the app's failure to adapt. While Vine was initially popular, other social media platforms, such as Instagram and Snapchat, quickly caught up and started offering similar features. Vine failed to innovate and improve its platform to keep up with the competition, ultimately leading to its downfall. In conclusion, it's clear that even the biggest tech giants can experience failure. Whether it's due to a lack of market demand, inadequate planning, or failure to innovate, there are many reasons why tech projects fail. By studying these failures, we can learn valuable lessons on what not to do and how to avoid making similar mistakes. It's important to remember that failure is not the end, but rather an opportunity to learn and grow. As Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work."